Having a learning map to show parents took away the question of subjectivity. Like, well, why did my son get a B? Why did my son get a C plus? That kind of thing. Because I was no longer just showing a string of marks. I was showing the learning that was to be done and what their child had been doing all term, and how those pieces of evidence, those are those assessment techniques that we were using and all of the work that the student had done, how they aligned with each of the big ideas. So right away they could see, oh, in this part, my son has done very well. In this part, not so well, you know.
You know, there's fear around being able to justify a letter grade. I know that fear. You know, you think I need to be able to explain this, how I arrived at this. And the learning map has such positive power to do that. I know that, you know, I read a piece from Laurie Shepard. She's a researcher in assessment. And she was talking about how the words, you know, isn't this too subjective? Where's the objectivity around this approach to arriving at letter grades? And what she explained is that those terms came into education at a time when the things we were required to teach were very straightforward outcomes. In what year did this war begin? And so what we could do is we could give a test that was right or wrong, or we could do a matching, and there it was right or wrong again. But you see, that's no longer true with the outcomes that we are required to teach, or the standards that we are required to teach to our students. A test will often not do it. Sometimes it will fit, but sometimes it won't. And in those situations, educators have had to come up and look at very different ways of finding out that piece of evidence, that information of how well the student is doing and what they still need to work on. So I think those terms get mixed up from an older time period, and I do think that it's important to remember that as teachers, when we arrive at a letter grade, we are asked to make a judgment. And that the whole idea, whether we like it or not, has got some subjectivity in it. That's just the way it is.